Time is 3:32 p.m. We are now calling the Joint Budget and Finance Committee meeting and Committee of the Whole meeting to order. Council Abbott, have you had a chance to look at the minutes from the last meeting?
I have.
Okay.
I move approval.
Second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The minutes passed from the last meeting. Next is consideration of the consent agenda. Council Abbott, do you have any consent items?
Well, actually, I do not have any items for consent, and so I just move that we move on with the agenda.
Okay, well, we're going to move on to the first item, which is item number 4. This is between the city and the Housing Authority of Birmingham District to provide a law enforcement task force and community safety partnership related to HABD's high-intensity, community-oriented police patrol program at the designated properties for a period up to 2 years beginning, it already began, May 22nd, 2024, and ending May 21st, 2026, unless terminated earlier by either party. HABD will provide funding to the city in the amount of, $2,085,605.52 to cover personnel costs, expenses, and reimbursement for maintenance, fuel, and repair of vehicles. The city will provide up to 7 officers, 1 sergeant, 1 lieutenant to perform law enforcement functions in the housing communities. Okay. Who's up?
Oh,
You have to turn on your mic. It should be at the bottom. You see it? There.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lieutenant Green, the commander of the Community Safety Partnership Unit. We're primarily responsible for patrolling HABD for the city of Birmingham.
Okay. Can you is he allowed to name those communities?
It's 14 public housing communities. It ranges from Gate City, Harris Homes, Collegeville, Vice Hills, Southtown.
So it's all of them?
Yeah, all of them.
Okay, I'm sorry, I thought it was only a certain amount of them. Okay.
It's 14 communities total.
Okay.
She was testing your memory.
No, you're fine. Okay, Council Abbott, do you have any questions?
Well, I did, and the question is probably not for you. It's probably for the legal department. I wanted to understand why we're repealing the ordinance and going in a different direction.
Essentially, Councilor Abbott, Melissa Smiley from the mayor's office. Essentially, what we're doing is modifying the initiation date, the start date for the agreement. If you recall, the council approved this agreement back in April, and we approved it before HABD did. There was a meeting of the minds on the terms of the agreement, but there were some small, I would say minor edits that they wanted to make. And as they reviewed it, time elapsed. And so they asked us if we could postpone the start date so that they would be in compliance with HUD. So that's all we're doing is changing the start date and changing the end date. It's still a 2-year agreement for the same amount of money, same services.
What were those minor edits they had?
It was mostly grammatical and typographical things. Didn't change anything substantive
Okay.
until they wanted to change the dates.
Okay, gotcha.
And that eliminated a couple of months. It was supposed to start originally, the old contract ended February 28th. And now the new start date will be May the 22nd.
Okay. Council Abbott?
It just makes me laugh. If y'all had just said that in the description, we wouldn't be hearing from you now and everybody could have gone home.
Thank you, Counselor.
Well, we wanted to hear from them.
Well, there's always a next time. Just make it where anybody who read it can figure out what we're doing, and then y'all don't have to hang around, unless you just like to get out of the office.
Well, I think it would have been, there would have been questions however we worded it, I believe, but we did the best we could.
Maybe. Okay, well, I don't have any more questions now that I understand what we're doing.
Okay, I move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Item number 4 passes. Next item is item number 5. This is a First Amendment with Interpersonal Frequency LLC, under which interpersonal will add the Birmingham City Council and Birmingham Crossplex websites to the City of Birmingham website redesign project for a term of 3 years in an amount not to exceed $11,400.
I move approval.
Second.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Darrell Burrows, Service Information Technology Officer for the City of Birmingham. I have Jeremy Kitchens with me. He is the project manager working with Interpersonal Frequency LLC on the website.
Gotcha. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Unless you have any questions.
Okay. Council Abbott.
Oh, yeah, I have questions. Like, who didn't know that the Birmingham City Council was part of the city?
Beg pardon?
Who was it that didn't know that the Birmingham City Council was part of the city and that we would need to be included in the website?
Right, so I figured that question would come up, so I asked our Enterprise Systems Manager, how did you guys get left out? She said she wasn't a part of the initial conversation. You know, as you know, I've been here a couple of months in this capacity. I wasn't part of the original scope of the project, so I'm not exactly sure why that happened. We apologize for that.
Well, it just seems so very strange. But that being said, okay, the city council website, which this isn't the first time this happened. We had to make our own website before, so, you know, every mayor does it to us. But is the city council website going to be modified just like the city website is being modified, or do we have to go modify our website and then tack it on like we did before?
Right, I'll let Jeremy answer that question.
So right now, the reason for the extra cost is they're performing a technical audit on your site. And so with that, there'll be a content manifest. And from that manifest, they'll be able to see all the data and all the different factors associated with your website. And so as we're developing the city's website, they'll also be developing your site. So it's an all-inclusive package.
Good. So everything will match and
That's correct.
everything will work. So
Yes,
no
ma'am.
more pin the tail on the donkey.
No, ma'am. So Kimberly has been very helpful in assisting me in that process. So your content manifest so far is complete. There were follow-up questions, but we're working through that with Kimberly.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. And I assume y'all are going to come back and talk to us about the network disruption sometime soon.
Yes, ma'am, whenever we're given
Invited.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm sure you'll receive an invitation.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
So will the Birmingham City Council be like one of those tabs that's up there, like, where are we gonna be? Like, how can you
We're
get there?
currently working through the site map. It's not approved as of yet, but we're working through it right now.
Okay, because it needs to be more user-friendly. You know, we know how to do it because this is our job, but I just want to make sure people, because some cities' websites, you can automatically just go to the front page and you can find everything. So I'm hoping we can change it to that.
I just want people to be able to find the zoning ordinance when they type in zoning ordinance. That would be like miraculous.
Your concerns are duly noted.
Okay, well, there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. The aye passes. Thank you, guys. Next one is a agreement between the City of Birmingham and Bad AZ Taco Code 2 DPA, is that salute? Under which they will construct, build out, and improve the facade at the historic Webb Building located on 2nd Avenue North and 20th Street in downtown Birmingham, offering authentic Mexican food, cocktails, culture, and hospitality, and creating 20 to 25 full-time positions. This is in the form of a RISE grant in the amount of $17,500 and a tax incentive over the next 4 years based on the actual project sales tax revenue an amount up to but not to exceed 72,000 total.
I move approval.
Second. It's good to see you. We haven't seen you.
I know it's been a while. Well, good evening. My name is Cornell Wesley. I proudly serve as the Director for the Office of Innovation and Economic Opportunity. What's before you today is truly not just a Birmingham story, but quite candidly an American story, in that we have Mr. Jesus Mendez and Ventron. Jesus started in Birmingham 16 years ago as a waiter at Margarita Grill, and has since crafted out an amazing story as in entrepreneurship. He served as a manager, as a waiter, and then as an entrepreneur, with his first concept, actually jointly, their first concept being the Pizzitz in the Pizzitz Food Hall, the Lewis Bar, which many Birminghamians patronize. Since then, they have opened up several other award-winning concepts, from the Lewis to Uno's Tacos, and Adios Cocktail Bar, Tequila Cocktail Bar, has recently been recognized as the #2 or #3 top cocktail bar, tequila cocktail bar in the country. Several brands called Uno Polk, and now what's before you is the Salud Tequeria. And so this is a RISE grant in the amount of $17,500, a performance-based, of course, incentive that they provide their earnings and their performance, and then we do our part as it relates to them performing. So truly just an amazing story for the both of them. I would like for them to come up at this time and just tell you a little bit about their story and what they're proposing. And at that point, happy to entertain any additional questions.
Gotcha. Okay, guys.
Thank you. It's us again. All right. Hello, everybody.
Hey, guys. I guess we'll introduce yourselves.
Jesus Mendez, and the community knows me as Chewy. My business partner, Vin.
Vin Tran.
Okay. Do we need to know anything else about the restaurant?
No, I mean, we're kind of getting pretty close to construction. We're making this request mainly because we just went out of budget.
That's fine.
Like as he mentioned, we took over the web building, which is still iconically the longest still standing building in Birmingham, but it came with a lot of bones and things to uncover and fix, and it has not been an easy construction build out in comparison to our other things I've been doing.
Yeah. Is that right next to the cigar bar where it's going to be, Cornell?
Across the street.
Across the street? Oh, right next to Helen's, sort of?
We're, if you're walking at a Paramount, you will look to your right, and it's us.
Okay,
So we're in
gotcha.
that little corner, yeah.
Okay.
I feel like us going in there will definitely activate the food scene and the cocktail scene for that strip.
Okay, Council Abbott.
Okay, so the 17,500 is for the facade only, right?
Well, it's the RISE grant, which has 3 eligible uses, that being staffing, the purchase of furniture, fixture, and equipment, and/or the renovation of existing space. They check all 3 because they're staffing up, they're renovating the existing space as well.
Excuse me,
Okay.
I have one correction to it. The amount should be 25,000.
Gotcha, okay.
The amount is 25,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, 25,000 then.
Okay, so it's 25,000, but this says it's for the construction, build-out, and improvement of the facade. It doesn't mention any of those other things, so I guess they're just automatically included without saying it?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question. You talking
So-
about the other 3
so-
eligible uses?
Yeah, this says this is for the facade. You're saying it's not for the facade, it's for 2 other things plus the facade.
No, I'm saying it can be used for 3 eligible uses. Facade would be considered still renovation as
Okay,
well.
so that's what the 25,000 is for. And then each year will determine what kind of incentives, what was it, 30%?
Yes, that's correct. So they will submit their receipts and proof of their performance, and then we will respond in kind. But it is performance-based. There's nothing upfront other than the RISE incentive.
Okay, so we give them 30% back of whatever they brought in.
That's
to the
correct.
city.
That's correct.
So they giveth and then we taketh away. So So, but every year could be different.
That's
It'd
correct.
be a different amount, so we just have a max of 72,000.
That's correct.
So we hope they exceed the max.
That will be ideal
They hope they exceed the max.
for them, for certain, and for Birmingham.
Okay, I think that's all of my questions.
Thank you.
What's the, timeline of completion?
Timeline of completion will hopefully be this month. So hopefully we'll come back to you end of the month or the beginning of next month to pick up the resolution from the city and then start applying for liquor license, and hopefully we're opened up next month.
Oh,
Wow, that's
wow,
fast.
that's kind of fast.
So you really literally ran out of money and needed some to finish the building.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Buy
passed
some
by a lot.
food.
Yeah.
I
We started
passed by a
construction
lot.
in January.
Yeah, I pass by a lot. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They actually have a taco truck, so they're actually converting. That's right. Oh no, it's a pop up. I wanted it to be a taco truck. It's a pop up already that they're
Yeah.
turning into a restaurant.
But the bar is in the Pizzitz, right?
So he has two. There's a bar and then Adios is
Mm-hmm.
on the same block as Crew and Wine Loft.
Okay, y'all are busy guys. Well, I know about old buildings and how you find things. that you-
sorry?
I know how in old buildings you find things that you didn't want to find, so, you have my deepest sympathy, and I think, did we make a motion?
We did.
Okay.
I'm excited for it. You know, Cornell, I'm gonna have to give you a hug. I have more lunch options now. When I leave the office, so I'm excited to see some more food choices. But
And
yeah,
we're always hungry.
always hungry. We can go there after, council meeting, but there's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The aye passes. Good luck, guys. And let us know when you have
Thank
your
you.
ribbon cutting or open day. Yeah.
I'll be there for sure.
Okay. Item number 7, it's the last one. This is an agreement with Kendra Scott, under which Kendra Scott shall host the Night of the Nominee to promote and support the city's Strong Her campaign on Tuesday, July 23rd, from 7 to 8:30 p.m. at a store located at 225 Summit Boulevard, suite number 101 in the city of Birmingham. The event recognizes women who are survivors of cancer, domestic violence, sexual abuse, entrepreneurs, teachers, performers, and others that have handled adversity. Okay.
Good afternoon. So in 2019, the mayor started an initiative known as the Strong Her Campaign. And since that time, we have profiled more than almost 300 women for their outstanding unsung efforts in the community. Kendra Scott, which is a multi-billion-dollar company, heard of our initiative, and it aligns with their mission. So they reached out and said, we would like to do something in connection with Strong Her. And that's where we have the idea of the Night of the Nominee. On this night, we will announce that we are now collecting nominations for 2025. And we're also inviting the public to come to the Kendra Scott store. During that time, individuals can buy whatever they want to buy and they will receive a discount. We will also invite the Strong Her honorees to this event. And any time that we or the city connects its name to an outside agency, we always have to come before the council for approval, and that's why this is before you today.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Councilor Abbott?
Well, actually, you answered every question that I had, and I also went online to find out who Kendra Scott was.
Amazing jewelry
And so
store.
it was, it was very interesting to learn all that, because I'm not a big shopper anymore, and so I didn't know. So it sounds cool.
I love them. I think the hoops I'm wearing are actually Kendra Scott, so
Yeah.
it's good value.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have a motion in a
I
second?
move approval.
Second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The aye passes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We don't have any old and new business. The next Budget and Finance Committee meeting will be on Monday, July 22nd at 3:30 p.m.
I move that we adjourn.
Second, all in favor say aye.